The following episode will contain spoilers. You have been warned.
You're listening to Cinema IRL, the podcast that throws you into the movie and asks the question, what would you do? Oh, it's hard to be bad, or is it good? I'm having a hard time keeping up which side these guys are on, as Amber and Scott discuss The Bad Guy 2. And now, Cinema IRL.
I wish I could switch places for just one day.
What would you do?
Put yourself in my shoes.
How do we handle this?
What would you do?
Put yourself in my position.
What would you do?
Now it's your turn.
Hooray! Finally, I have a reason to come back.
I know you don't.
What do you mean?
Why are you here, Morty? I mean, hi, but why are you here?
Who was the main character of this movie?
It was a wolf, not a werewolf.
Close enough.
It's not close enough.
I disagree.
There's nothing werewolfy about this film at all. I appreciate your diligence in stopping by.
I saw the claws, and I was close enough.
Okay.
It's an anamorphic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Alrighty.
Okay, Morty, sure.
Okay.
Whatever.
Alrighty. Hi, Morty. Welcome. For those who don't know, Morty is our resident werewolf correspondent who usually chimes in on horror films or films about werewolves, not about animated robbers.
How far away do you think a wolf and a werewolf are from each other?
A lot.
I would have to correct your science on that.
Alrighty. Well, you're here. Let's get this party started. Hey folks, welcome to today's episode. We are talking about The Bad Guys 2. And in this sequel, the criminal crew of animal outlaws are struggling to find trust and acceptance in their newly minted lives as good guys, where they are pulled out of retirement and forced to do one last job by an all-female squad of criminals. And if you watch Bad Guys, the original, we basically had this animal crew of creatures that typically people are afraid of. We have a piranha, a tarantula, a shark, a snake, and a wolf. A wolf.
Close enough.
And they pull heists, and they are the bad guys. But they end up starting on this path to be good guys. And at the end of the film, they are incarcerated, they are ultimately released, and they are turning around their lives trying to be good guys. So Bad Guys 2 picks up on them trying to forge their way in the world now as good guys, but people remember them as bad guys. So they can't get jobs. They're still struggling to find their place in society.
It also should be noted, I identify as a good guy.
Well, yeah.
So I would fit in here quite well.
Yes, that's actually a good point, Morty. You are a good guy.
Like my co-hosts. They're kind of jerks.
Well, I don't think Scott and I are jerks.
No, my co-hosts, not yours.
Okay. All right. So we have some interesting what would you do here. We have the what would you do if you were always had one identity. And in this case, those five were bad guys. They did bad things. They were perceived as bad and people were fearful of them. And then they were trying to be something different, which is really brave. And so many people don't have the courage to say, hey, I'm going to start down a different path and be a different way and prioritize different things. And it's a very difficult struggle. I mean, what would you do, Morty, if you were in the position of any of them trying to be something new?
I very much can relate with these characters because I too have had many people defecate their trousers upon seeing me. My mere appearance makes you think that I am bad. Clearly not the case. So,
yes,
I believe the right thing to do is always the right thing. Always do the right thing, and eventually they will come around. Okay, Morty. I know you're the sunshine of positivity here. I don't know that I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, it's people don't like change, and they don't like it when the people around them change, regardless of what that change might consist of. But if it's especially where you're trying to go from a bad guy to a good guy, maybe, this wasn't the case in the film, but maybe you deal drugs or you abduct people. Or I don't want to give people ideas, but I'm just saying when you all of a sudden say, it can be as simple as, taking a hit of pot or, taking a swig of alcohol in the alley with your friends when you're in school. If you stand up and say, I want to do something different, the people who are the bad people around you automatically judge you and like, oh, you think you're better than us. And they see your desire to be something better as a threat to them.
Yeah, if you want to be good after having been bad, it generally requires 20 years in the pokey and a made-for-TV movie about your life. then maybe. But it's certainly easy to go the other way.
Yeah, so what would you do if you were any of these characters? Like Wolf, for example, he had been applying for many jobs, couldn't find one, and they looked at his resume, they looked at who he was, and they said, no, we're not going to hire you. So to draw the parallel, even though it's much more extreme than this animated Pixar film, but what you have to look at the comparison of when people are released from prison and they have done their time and they're looking to restart their lives, and how difficult it can be for an ex-con to get that fresh start, to get that job.
It is, but I believe you always must maintain your virtues. If you're going good, always go good and just have a positive attitude that eventually it will work out for you. Now, Morty, okay. So this is...
Yeah, that's kind of toxic positivity. You can't deny what is.
Yeah, so here's the thing. In this world, if you have to look out for yourself, and you can't expect other people are going to do it for you. So you might need to figure out ways of taking shortcuts. I'm not saying... And where those shortcuts lie, it sort of does help define whether or not you're more on the good side of the spectrum or the bad side of the spectrum.
Wait. What kind of shortcuts?
Well, I mean, like one shortcut could be inflating your resume somehow or embellishing on it in schools you maybe didn't go to or a degree you didn't get.
So you want to be a good guy by being dishonest?
Well, if like you need a job.
You do.
Like if you don't have a job or you don't have a way of making money, it's not good. So sometimes if you're going after a job you know you can do, the ends can justify the means. Now, some people might take a shortcut by, robbing a bank. That's maybe not the best shortcut to take.
Well, and that's certainly not a move that a good guy would make. And these criminals are trying to turn their lives around. I don't think if you are intentionally trying to be a good guy now that you start that first step on this new path by lying on a resume. But what would you do for me? I would tap into that Foxy Diane Foxington, who is the governor, and be like, hey, can you help us and connect us with some people who could use our skills? And
yeah, if you're friends with a governor, like you've got a pretty big hand up there.
Yeah, and at a minimum, you can make some introductions, open some doors, and you certainly don't need to give them a job, but you do have connections. And I would certainly tap into the people around me for some assistance. You can't make people do things, but you can ask for help. And when it's something easy, like can you reach out to someone? Can you email them? Can you drop my name? Things like that can certainly help if you know important people.
Can you open the door for an interview? I'll let myself speak for myself, like once I get there. But especially in today's day and age, man, you've got AI that's processing resumes. You send in a resume, you just literally may never get seen by a human.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was difficult many years ago to get your resume seen by a person, and now it's nearly impossible. It's very difficult. So those connections and introductions from real people can certainly make a difference. So what would you do if you were in the shoes of the good guys who were working with the police trying to identify and apprehend a new bad guy in town, and you found out that this heist is going down at a wrestling match, which I thought was kind of fun for you because you are a wrestling fan. Well, not you, Morty Scott.
Oh, you mean me?
Yeah, I mean you.
I mean, it was a little animated and crazy, but
I thought it was actually spot on because real world wrestling is a little animated and crazy. But long story short, the newly changed good guys get framed by the out of town bad guys, and now they're on the run because everyone thinks that the good guys are back to being bad guys. What would you do if you were framed?
well, you have to do everything you can to clear your name. And that's most important. Be very transparent with the public about what is going on, why you believe you're being framed, and possibly have to do some investigating on your own to find out exactly what is going on and how you can clear your name.
I agree with that, Morty. So what would that look like to you? Would you go live on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram and declare what had happened and where you stand?
I don't really use the TikToks so much, so I'm going to leave that one to Scott. I don't really use them either, but I guess I know them better. Social media is definitely a one of the best ways of getting out any message you have these days. So, if you are being framed, it also really helps to establish alibis. And unfortunately, when you're being framed, you might need a way of establishing like a 24/7 alibi because you don't know when you're going to be framed. So, for what time period you're going to be framed for.
Just walk around in life assuming that someone's going to frame you?
If you're actively being framed.
Yeah, well, they were framed, and the way that it worked is everyone at the wrestling match in the big stadium thought, okay, we know what's happened. The good guys are actually bad guys again, and they stole the belt from the wrestling match, and the entire stadium is chasing them, and the cops are chasing them, and they flee because they think that they're going to be apprehended, which they are.
Yes.
So one of the twists in the film is when, we're just going to call them the good guys, when the good guys are apprehended by the out-of-town bad guys, and the out-of-town bad guys tell them, hey, we need your wicked bad skills to be able to pull off this heist, and we need you to go bad again and help us, or else we're going to release this video. And the video is of Governor Diane Foxington, who we learned in the first Bad Guys film that she is actually this master criminal, and no one's ever found out that she was this notorious robber, and she is now the governor. And so the out-of-town bad guys say, you help us or we're going to release this information so everyone knows that the governor is actually the perpetrator in this of all of these old crimes as this old persona.
Never pay a blackmailer. Ever.
So what would you do then, Morty? They're tied up and the out-of-town bad guys say, help us or we're going to release this.
Do what you've got to do.
Okay, what does that mean?
It means once somebody has some blackmail over you, they will use it. And once you fulfill the criteria that they want, they will continue to use it in perpetuity. You will never get out from underneath it, so you might as well not be subject to its parameters to begin with.
Okay.
Actually, I kind of agree with Morty on this one. No, you don't pay. Or whatever it is. Like, you want me to help you? No. I'm not going to help you. The only way I'm going to do this is if it is something that I know for a stone cold fact that when I'm done with this, it's something I will be able to get, and there is absolutely no chance whatsoever that there is something else in there that could implicate or whatever it is. And that, especially in today's digital age, doesn't really hold up. Though, speaking of the digital age, honestly, I would have just said, let it out there. That's fine. And then I would have gotten on the comments, cool AI, bro. I mean, seriously, like, AI can make all sorts of videos. I would have been like, yeah, that's just AI.
Yeah.
That's not me.
The thing was, though, is that the good guys were trying to protect the governor who had actually been an ally for them.
Yeah.
And they weren't trying to save their own skin. They were trying to be good friends to the governor and protect her and the new life that she's built from going from a bad guy to a good guy.
But again, in 2025, you have a video? That's cool. That's great. Release it.
Just call fraud fake.
Yeah. I mean, if you're the governor, you get a hold of whatever company that is, you say that's an AI of me, it's not authorized, pull it down.
That's hard, though, because you look at anyone who has done any sort of crisis management, and when you are in reaction mode, it is very difficult to reel back a story. Well, like, you can't put the genie back in the bottle, and once it gets going to, even if a situation where false information spreads, imagine that's our world today, of course, and trying to correct it. You think about what happens during election years, or honestly with any news today, of how quickly information spreads. And when it's fraudulent, you can never pull that back and reach all the people who bought in for the fake information out of the gate. Like, you can never re-educate or redirect everybody.
Yes, unfortunately, in today's world, it seems that truth is subjective.
Well,
which it's not.
Well, truth is always truth. It's just manipulated in today's world.
Well, I mean, there is a platform called Truth Social, which seems like a very oxymoronic name. So, truth is not necessarily the truth.
Okay. So.
And plus, I see no foxes working at Fox News. More lies.
That's true. I can't say I've walked through their offices. I don't know who works there. But I certainly haven't seen any on the air.
Yes. I mean, honestly, in today's day and age, what does it matter? I mean, unless you are just implicated on something just horrific and there is a groundswell of information that substantiates the claim, you can just literally be like, that's fake. That's not what I said. It's not what I did.
Well, that can buy you some time, but if you're in a high government office like the governor, someone is going to look into that and be able to look at all the metadata in the way that the experts do to determine if something's real or fake. And you can say that it's fake, but ultimately someone will discover that it's not, because it wasn't.
No, it wasn't, but...
So then not only are you a dishonest liar and a thief, then you lied again now in real time and tried to deceive further.
Well, I do believe if you're governor, it is difficult to think that you might have once been a common thief. Well, not common, but a master thief.
I mean, politics are full of master thieves and liars and whatnot. I mean, that's
is true. I could name somewhere between 45 and 47 of them.
Yeah. So what would you do if you found out a way to create a magnet of sorts that pulled in all the gold on the planet? Would you go up into outer space to be able to do that? Because that's what our out-of-town bad guys and their leader, Kitty, wound up doing, is having to take basically Elon Musk's SpaceX rocket ship, the comparison was pretty obvious there, into outer space to be able to activate this magnet to then draw all the gold on Earth up into this magnet in space. Would you go up into space for all the gold in the world?
Pardon my language, but heck no.
No? Why is that?
I'm a good guy. Why would I want to get everyone else's gold when it's not mine? Speak for yourself, Morty. No, actually, I don't know. I don't really want to go into space.
Well, I want to go into space, but I want it to be in a little bit more controlled environment.
Like, listen, I'm certainly known to be walk a certain moral line.
Yeah.
on things. And I have certain things I object to. And I will not ever steal from individuals, ever. Now, that's not to say I'm going to steal from companies either. But it's like if you do something that causes a financial harm to a company versus an individual, I mean, with a few individuals as exceptions, I mean, it's different. And that magnet is going to pretty much pull a lot of stuff from a lot of people. You're going to hurt people.
Yeah, people's gold jewelry got, pulled off their wrists, and jewelry stores, everything started levitating up into space, and everything. This magnet was powerful, and it was huge, and it was beautiful, but it definitely stole everyone's gold.
It might have been a bad time to have an excessive number of piercings.
Yeah, actually, I was a little concerned that when it started tugging at people with their gold rings and their bracelets, that it was going to drag them up into space with it. But they managed to address that, so it was all very viewer-friendly, and they came off very easily.
Yes, there were nobody wearing nose rings.
Well, it's interesting because speaking of nose rings, did you notice how Governor Dianne Foxington had a
eyebrow?
Yeah, she has an eyebrow ring.
Yes, I did notice that. It was quite fetching on her.
It was, and I think someone there in the animation team is certainly having fun.
Yeah, no, I think so as well.
So, final thoughts, Morty and Steve, on The Bad Guys 2.
I'm sorry. Could you please say that again?
Final thoughts on The Bad Guys 2?
Who were you talking to?
Either of you?
I don't know a Steve that's here.
Did I say Steve?
You don't even know your own husband's name.
Did I say Steve? That's weird.
You did.
Oh, bye!
We hope you enjoyed our episode. Thank you for listening. And to catch all the new episodes, please subscribe. We release 2 to 3 episodes weekly, so we'll have new content regularly. Until next time.